You heard what's going on, y'all? These food processing facilities, I should say meat processing facilities, are closing. Tyson is just closing another plant the other day. And I've been looking at it and, yo, they've been closing plants for years. What's going on here? Because you know what I've been hearing more and more about? Bioengineered foods. You know what I'm saying? They're growing their food now in the lab. 3D printing meats. Come on, man, let's talk about it, yo. CLP holding the vibe. What up, everybody? I'm CLP holding the vibe. Like, share, subscribe. Drop a comment if you're vibing. What up, everybody? I'm CLP holding the vibe. You know, we out here walking and talking. Tap in at LGETV. But if you just want a podcast, just to sit down and hold the vibe, tap in at Conscious356 for the sit down podcast. But if you just want to hear the beats, you know, the vibration, the genres I'm putting out, tap in at CLP Got Beats. And if you want to buy and purchase, go to beatstars.com/CLP. You can see all the genres, all the vibes, but also different prices. You know what I mean? CLP. But what up, everybody? How was all doing? I hope all is well. And if not, hope you get back on track sooner or later. So you can add to your thing. You know what I mean? Y'all heard what's going on? They said Tyson Food, not say, but it's actually currently happening. These food processing facilities are closing down. Tyson Food just closed one now. What is it? Tyson Food is closing its facility, meat processing plant. You know what's gonna happen, yo? Price is obviously gonna raise. But I heard this news and I figured I would do a talk on this real quick. Because you know what's going on in the bio sector, in the science sector, the science and food, 3D printing meat, bioengineering meat, growing their own science, growing their own meat in general, meat products. I heard Tyson, Purdue Meat, and other meat facilities, meat companies, big investment in these science. So Tyson's closing facilities. So now, me looking into this been going on for years. 10, 15 years. Over facilities I've noticed on these videos I'm looking at. Facilities that's been closing down. But if you know, the science around food, around meat, been picking up. 2014, 2012, 2010, they started implementing these things. So changes has been coming. Science is getting bigger. And companies been closing under our nose. It's been the news, but there's so much stuff that goes on in reality. We can't really penetrate what's going on because the news is like a flash. They say it, it comes and it goes. And if you're not paying attention, you won't ever hear anything to really look at. They'll just hit you with the fear tactics. You know what I'm saying? But thinking about all these facilities that's been closing over the years, they've been keeping up with the meat product, meat demand, right? People like eating meat. So thinking about it and looking at what's going on, they're closing these facilities but opening up more science-based companies. That means they've been doing these bio meats, these fake meats, engineering their own food products. You seen the talk the other day we did on the meats where they're making the 3D printing meat now, based on all these cell. Yeah, look at these clips though, because they're closing the facilities. What are they replacing it with? Because doing the research about closing facilities, all these videos talking about people who's losing their jobs, thousands and thousands of people losing their jobs. Companies are closing, but they're not talking about what they're replacing it with. So I did a little research and we got some clips on that too. Because these bioengineered companies is getting bigger and bigger and more investments. And if these meat companies are investing in fake meats, no wonder the chicken breast now put under water, it falls apart. It's stringy, strips. because they're 3D printing that too. They're layering it, putting it together. And you know, once they start the machine, it won't go off until the machine malfunctions. But yeah, check these clips out, man, because this is crazy. We're gonna look at all the facilities that are closing throughout the nation, and it's been going back for a while too, yo. Check these new clips, yo.
6 weeks. What are people supposed to do after that? What about the people that they hired a month ago? What about the people that they hired this month who can't get unemployment, that have left jobs and careers and everything else, or relocated for this job? What are they supposed to do? Who cares about you get paid for, the next 5 or 6 weeks? What are people supposed to do after?
And the impact could go far beyond the workers losing their jobs. JBS USA has announced the closure of its beef production facility in Souderton, Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia, and its Empire Packing value-added plant in Memphis, Tennessee. The company says both locations are expected to close on August 14th, 2026. The Souderton closure is expected to affect about 1,485 workers, while the Memphis facility employs 208 people. That means nearly 1,700 jobs could be disrupted. But here is the bigger issue. Souderton is a beef processing plant. At a time when the U.S. cattle herd is near its lowest level in decades, processors are facing higher cattle costs, tight margins, and unused capacity. JBS says production will shift to other facilities, so this does not automatically mean an immediate beef shortage. But analysts warn that losing processing capacity can make the beef supply chain more concentrated and less resilient over time. Beef prices are already high. The real question is, will these closures eventually mean even fewer choices and higher prices for consumers?
Decades of operation, a Tyson beef plant in central Nebraska is set to close its facility in mid-January. A harsh reality now setting in with the thousands of workers as layoffs begin. Over this holiday season, roughly 3,200 workers will or have already lost their jobs as the facility inches closer to its January 20th closing date.
See what I'm talking about? People's losing their jobs, communities being all shaken up. And this been going on for years under our nose. Like every year, 1 or 2 companies been closing for the last 15 years. There's a lot of companies, but as soon as they're closing a company, they're opening up some bioengineer facility. Look at these clips now, because that's what they're replacing it with. The news ain't saying much, but they keep it separated when they bring it to you, so you got to pay attention, and that's where we come in, holding a vibe, and I'm piecing this puzzle together of what's going on. They got everything else under control, so they have to control the food as well. And the food and the medical industry goes the same way, hand in hand, right? So check these clips out, man, of what they're going to replace the food, pretty much all the meat with. You know what I'm saying? Starting all these 3D printing stuff. Check these out, yo.
Steak. The goal is to create a piece of meat without killing a cow. It's no secret that beef is one of the most damaging foods for the planet. The global beef industry produced nearly 75 million tons of meat in 2020. That's about 19 pounds for each person on the planet. But plant-based alternatives to meat have grown into a $5.6 billion industry. Now, researchers in Israel are taking on one of the biggest challenges, growing steaks in a lab. But can lab-grown steak or plant-based alternatives really fix the broken beef industry? A study funded by the company found that, pound for pound, its product generates about 90% less greenhouse gas emissions than traditional beef. Still, for many scientists, the holy grail is to not just imitate meat, but actually make it.
Farm, but from a bioreactor. It is known as a lab-grown meat, which is cultivated in a lab from animal cells, eliminating the need to raise and slaughter animals. Here, identical stem cells are cloned, increasing the number every 2 to 3 days by a factor of 2 to 5. This bulb of cells is then transferred into even larger tanks, adding what everybody needs to grow: minerals, vitamins, fats, proteins, and carbohydrates, all plant-based. The cells still have to be shaped to become meat. They grow into a plant-based frame where they get their meaty texture.
Inside of this, you have hundreds of millions of cells. This is the foundation of the chicken. This is what it is, basically. This is our entire chicken product. We did not genetically modify these cells. They're what's called spontaneously immortalized. So they're able to grow indefinitely.
So now, when I see all this coming from real to fake, you know what I think about? Population control. And I'm in my 40s, yo. And I've been hearing about population control since my teenage years. 14, 15, I hear these talks. So now you can see the moves, all the different things that's been happening 2020, the different scares. What, last month they had the parasites on the veggies, on the salads, you know what I'm saying? So what the hell is going on in these times? They're setting us up, trying to wipe us out, or just trying to keep the population under control so they can continue their control, because so much people they can't control. You know what I'm saying? And you know how people get. John style. But this is just another vibration. You know what I'm saying? Information is the key to understanding what's going on. And in these times, a lot of things is going on. You know what I mean? So I'm CLP, holding the vibe. Thanks for watching the video. Big up to all my new subs. And on that note, I will catch you on the other vibration. CLP. It's all good. What up, everybody? I'm CLP, holding the vibe. Like, share, subscribe. Drop a comment if you're vibing.